everyone, welcome back to this channel again. You see, this is our country. Our country is a total mess. Our president Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not like criticism at all, but the people will not allow him be because people want to voice out their problem. People who are suffering, so they are voicing out the challenges they are having. But what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is interested in is silencing the masses. Take a look at the music that trended today that Abu Karim sang, saying "Tell your papa." Seyi, tell your papa. Immediately that music started trending, they had to ban the music from Nigerian radio and Nigerian television services. You can imagine the high level of bad government we have. This to show you that the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the people in power just want to silence the citizens. They don't want the citizens to voice out their problem. I want you guys to listen to what Rufai and Dr. Bate have to say about the Nigerian government. They actually gave them woto today. Take a look at this video, guys. I'll be right back.
Let me try to be as concise as I can in regards to this. I'm going to borrow from the words of the former president of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan. He said that it's easy to wake a man that is sleeping, but it's very hard or almost impossible for you to wake a man that is pretending to sleep. So I want to bring this to your notice. What is happening in Nigeria at the moment, and to be more specific, in northern Nigeria, do you think it should be likened to a man that is sleeping or a man that is pretending to be sleeping? A question. But well, in my own opinion, it can be likened to a man that is pretending to be sleeping. And what are my reasons? I want you to watch this so that you will see my reasons.
This Boko Haram issue started since 2012, and I was in the military intelligence that time. The intention of it's on the internet, so it's not even about the people we interrogated. The intention is to Islamize Nigeria and practice Sharia. And it doesn't matter if some people die. It doesn't matter if you're embarrassed. It doesn't matter if our economy has generated. Look at the interest rate. Look at the inflation rate. Look at the debt profile of Nigeria. They don't care. So I'm not coming to the air so whip up sentiments. No. I have been in the system. I work with Abacha government. I work with Babangida government. I work with Abdul Salam. I work with Yar'Adua Obasanjo as a core insider of operations. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban, they think about the Mujahideens, and they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care. As long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia, and there is whatever thing they have in their head, and they want to achieve. You remember?
So practically speaking, do you think that concept have changed as far as the North is concerned at the moment? What the media have succeeded in doing is giving them a different name, a redefined name. Bandits, cattle rustlers, kidnappers. That is what the media have succeeded in doing. And what do you need to ensure this? You must make sure they are uneducated. And even if they are educated, they must be fanatically inclined. When they are fanatically educated, it doesn't matter what you have read. Fanatism will override that. And that is the reality. That is just the fact. And if you think that the government is not aware, the government is fully aware. But the fact is, you can't rule out some elements of selfishness in the midst of all this and a lot of it. But the fact is, the government is aware, but to some certain extent, they will not come out and tell you things the way it is. But the fact is, they are expecting you to use your tongue to count your teeth. And that is why the DSS boss told you this.
I'll share experience with you when I was state director in Bauchi. Most of you will remember an incident in Azari. A group of terrorists, the Boko Haram then, had invaded Azari. They were shooting in an attempt to kidnap, and the community chased them. They killed some members of the community, but the community members killed all of them. The last guy, Khalid, climbed onto a tree and was fired. The community stood. They were resilient and they killed Khalid. Since that day, there has not been one terrorist attack in Azari. As a matter of fact, the former head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, said, and I quote, "If we want to stop or curb this terrorism, we should emulate the Azari example." Tafawa Balewa also happened to be a local government in Bauchi that was always in flames. And the people of Bogoro and some part of Tafawa Balewa, where the Sayawas are, rose up on one occasion. They knew their terrain better, climbed onto trees and mountains when the invaders came. They did not only repel them, they seized their weapons. And since then, you can attest to it that you hardly hear about Tafawa Balewa again. What I'm trying to say, the practical approach to mobilizing people is that you have to get everyone involved. You do not expect the Nigerian Army, police, DSS to protect every Nigerian or every community. It is not going to work. In the US, if you visit someone in the house, you will be shocked that when the guy hears a police siren, he will just pull his drawer, bring out his gun and keep it. So one of my hosts did that, and I asked him, "Why are you putting gun here?" He said, "Well, if they are chasing someone and he enters my house, I'll shoot him first." And that is the layer we have to start thinking about.
Take a look now at a story from Nigeria. On Thursday, the National Broadcasting Commission prohibited Nigerian radio and television stations from airing Idris Abdulkarim's new song titled "Tell Your Papa," which was released on Monday this week. In the song, the rapper criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's economic policies, accusing him of making too many empty promises. He also called on President Tinubu's son, Seyi Tinubu, to convey the hardships faced by Nigerians to his father. The NBC, in a memo, stated that the song was deemed to violate Section 318 of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code and advised various stations to exercise discretion and refrain from airing the music to maintain responsible broadcasting standards, adding that it considered the song's content to be inappropriate and objectionable. Dr. Abdulkarim again is back in the news. We know that his previous song, I believe it's Nigeria Jaga Jaga, was banned, by the radio during President Olusegun Obasanjo's reign in 2004. Now we are seeing almost the same, sort of ban coming on his song, but we know that Jaga Jaga became some sort of anthem after that ban.
Okay, censorship has been one of the major problems that artists have faced in the world. In the past, even Copernicus was censored. Other writers were censored, including the man that created the Protestant movement and all of that. So many books, so many songs in history that were banned and burnt. But many of those, artistic works have been revealed to be works that contain truths, that told the truths about the world. Even Galileo Galilei, when he said that the world was round and not flat, it was, sanctioned. Even Kishero had his tongue pulled out of his mouth because he said he was saying things that were not acceptable, not fit to be broadcast. And that he didn't exercise discretion. I use the word "not fit to be broadcast" because that's what Section 3.1.8 of the Nigeria National Broadcasting Code of Nigeria is relying upon. Now, here, we're dealing first with censorship and the futility of it, and the abrogation of the right to freedom of expression under Section 39 of the Nigerian Constitution. In the United States, they will call it the First Amendment. Now, the NBC operationalizes a subsidiary regulation. Are we dealing here with overreach on the part of the National Broadcasting Commission? There have been issues about the current extant NBC code And now they arrived at some of those provisions in that code. Now, the discretion that they are talking about, that should also be a question that the people running the National Broadcasting Code should ask themselves about the quality of their discretion, about the quality of the maturity that they bring to the work. But that's another question for another day. But we see censorship as a form of dictatorship.
So guys, you guys were able to see what really happened today about the song that really trended today, Seyi Tell Your Papa, sung by Abodu Karim. Now the question is, are we in a country where there is dictatorship? This is the democracy country which we all know, and we have the right to freedom of expression, we have the right to freedom of speech. You get, we the citizens have our own rights. So why are they limiting us to our rights? Is it that we don't have freedom to speak up whenever we are finding difficulties or hardship? Are we slaves in our own land? Are we slaves in our own country? Because he made a song calling out Seyi Tinubu and his father. That was why they banned it. Why is it that Nigerian government, in fact the president on his own self, does not like criticism? But still, he doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to make the country to be better. He doesn't want to do anything at all. In fact, let me just tell you the reason why all these leaders are in that seat today. It's for their own selfish interest. They're only there because of what they're gaining. That's why you see you see these our leaders, the way they used to shout this one Nigeria up and down, is because of they so much, they are benefiting something from this so-called one Nigeria. Because if they're not benefiting anything from it, they won't be saying it is one Nigeria. This because they're benefiting something from it. That's why anytime you're hearing we want this country to divide, let the outside people go on their own, the leaders will say no, because they know what they're benefiting. God, this country is a total mess where the citizens don't have right again. They now do us as if we're in military rule when we know that it's not a military man that is ruling us. This country is just scattered and yassered. We the citizens have suffered. Just take a look at the cost of food items in the market today. People are suffering. Even the people who we are actually middle class in this type of economy now, like people who are middle class in that time in the economy before, when the economy was better, the people who were in middle class are now the poorest. They talk about the people who were poor that time when things were good. They are now the poor. In fact, maybe they even eat from hand to mouth now. It shows that the country has spoiled. Even the rich people now have their own difficulties. People are now facing challenges day by day. Just go to the market. You will see that things has gone high. You can't buy a tomato again. You can't buy a basket of tomato. You can't buy anything. You can't even buy a bag of pure. Bag of pure that was actually, let me say, 100 naira when things were good. Bag of pure now is 450, 500, and you'll be wondering, God, when will this country be better again like the way it used to be before? The government wants to silence the masses because he knows that once the masses start speaking, the masses are always speaking the truth. So he wants to silence the masses. And don't be surprised. You see all these news report stations in the internet today. Don't be surprised that some of them are actually working for the government. Yes, maybe if they want to come up and say something that they know is that the government is doing, the government will tell them, no, don't say this kind of thing. They won't want to focus on the areas the government are not doing it well, because they know that there are some news stations that are working for them, and we are tired. That's why sometimes you don't see our youths going to news stations to report. We do our own protests, and even when we protest to they tear gas and shoot at us, we'll come online to say our problem by making a video or calling out the government. They will say that we have insulted the president, hereby we are going to go to jail. God, we are tired. We Nigerians, we are tired of this hardship. We are tired of all this. We don't have our right again. But they say that our rights, the right of citizens are written in the constitution, but they're no more following the constitution again. What a corrupt and bad country. Anyway guys, that's all we have for today. Let me know your thought below, and also if you know you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, like and share. So guys, thanks for watching.